Hey guys.
Hello.
All right. Well, we're in the house right now. We haven't moved in or anything, but we're starting the video in here. We've got a few lights going on off of our inverter and our solar panels because we wanted to give you a look at how this glass bottle window is turning out.
Uh, so I've done more of the lime rendering on the inside. I think in our last video it was still just mud. So now you can see how the lime mixed with sand, layers upon layers, and mixing it down till pure lime. And eventually I'll be getting these blue tiles up here, and it'll give a little pop of color. But yeah, it's for the most part coming out how I had hoped. I haven't had many issues with cracking or anything. No mold, no growth. It's all gone pretty smooth, just very labor intensive. Like, you think, oh, mud's easy. No, it's very labor intensive. So luckily, I've been able to get it done. And slowly getting there. So I think just once I get the tiles up, one last coat, and the inside will be done. Then we can move on to boarding it up, because as you could also see in the photos or video, insulation.
Yeah, so Shelly has been working very hard to get all the walls insulated. And then here we have our stack of wood that's going to be for the interior walls. And then over here, have a stack of pulled apart pallet wood that is actually going to be for the ceiling to hold the insulation in. I haven't done that yet, but eventually we will.
We weren't sure we were going to be getting the lumber for the wood for the ceiling, and then Connor found a really great deal on Facebook Marketplace and was able to get some from some dude that's what he does. He pulls apart pallets for the rest of us who are like, yeah, we were using pallet wood.
And he was charging half the price of everybody else that was on Facebook Marketplace, and just a really cool guy. So I really felt blessed to meet him because I got to saw some of his other work and barn doors and everything that he was building that I was like, those look good. So I'll definitely at least steal his ideas on that one. Anyways, but we have more insulation over here that we had purchased. So we're going to double that up to go into the ceilings. And that should be good. Almost an R40 for the ceilings.
Yeah.
We've got all our LED lights. I haven't attached them all, but all the 4-inch LEDs are hanging here. Currently, the lighting that you see is off some work lamps that we have hung up here with LED bulbs in them.
Shining light on the situations.
And that's currently running off of our battery bank and inverter that we have. Now, we recently expanded our battery bank, so we're up to 4 batteries now. We are still running a 12-volt system, but we have 5 new solar panels that are rated at 200 watts a piece, which is going to produce 1,000 watts. Currently only have 4 hooked up because one of them I had to send back because it was shattered upon delivery, and so I had to wait for the replacement to come. I got the replacement, a day or two ago?
Yeah, it was a really quick turnaround. A pretty good company. They even come with really cool little information slips in them, and you could always call them. So that's nice especially for anybody who's not used solar before. I'd say they've got a really easy system set up to help get a large system in place and going.
The most complicated part that I had was the connectors, or specialized connectors that go to the wires. But it's great because you can expand them to make them longer or shorter as you need. As soon as you figure out how to join those together and put them on, then it becomes very simple. It takes just a little second to figure out. I'm sure there's YouTube videos. I'm sure there's written instructions. I don't read instructions, and occasionally I don't watch the YouTube videos. So I just figured it out, and it wasn't too complicated.
Do we want to go out there and look at that, or do we want to look at it through the window before we go outside?
I say we look at it through the window. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So here, looking through our kitchen sink window, you can see the new solar panel rack is built there, and it has the 5 panels on it. It's the same base that I had on the solar panel rack previously, but the top is expanded with the 3 triangle supports because
Nice. Wait, triangles. Yeah, new triangles right here.
yeah, so that's because these panels are a lot larger. They're almost 6 foot tall and 2 foot wide, a little over 2 foot wide actually. So that is what is powering us right now. It's pretty great. Hi, Kitty.
And you can see Miss Kitty is definitely like, hey, nice window you got here. Nice things and stuff. I want to be in it too.
All right, and we had already gotten the stain for the outside walls. That's these 2 buckets right here. This one is the forest green, and this one is the Dutch blue. All right, and just so you can see, I still have some trim pieces that I haven't put up because Shelly's working on that glass bottle window on the outside. This is the Dutch blue.
Whoa.
So we actually have everything stained outside. So now we're going to do the big reveal. Hold your horses. Take a seat because it might just blow your mind. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
It's gonna be beautiful. Maybe gotta shut the door.
Right?
Okay.
So there's the living room window right there. There's the front door. You can see the posts are exposed now. We got to go back and seal around them. But this is the look that we were going for. All the trim's done up there. And then this is the window that Shelly's working on the outside. So you can see what she's talking about with the blue tile up here in the middle. How that's going to look on the inside as well.
And then with those blue trim boards you saw inside, that's the blue trim boards for here because I'm still working on it. The lime does create a lot of mess and I didn't want to mess up Connor's beautiful paint job because it is really, really lovely and super excited about it.
Yeah, I still got to uncover a couple of the posts. As you can see, I had it covered while I was staining, but just how that is turned out with the trim around it. These are our old panels here that we were using for solar. Each of these is rated at 25 watts. So we've definitely increased the production value. This bundle here is actually all of the electrical lines from the house that are going to go feed off inverters that are going to be placed here that are going to feed off the battery bank once we move over to the house.
So it's already set up and it's looking fabulous. We are going to keep the old solar panels because they're going to go for another project or powering something else, a smaller unit kind of thing.
We're thinking about having a separate unit because that stack of tires over here is actually going to be used in earthship construction to build our dry food storage, storm shelter, and garage. And
it's like a multi-use workshop space.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Earthship construction, I highly recommend you look it up so you see exactly what we're talking about. But basically, it's interlacing tires that are filled with earth to give you a huge R factor, natural insulation, and then stability as well. Anyways.
So that's going to be future projects.
Yeah.
Probably not this year.
No. But once we get that over there, then these panels will be able to charge, a simple 2-3 battery system that will be able to sustain us in the case of an emergency where we need to be in there and have lights and run anything electrical like a radio or anything like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it almost doesn't seem like a lot, except for you look behind us and our house is painted.
Yeah.
Like, this is a huge thing for us. And to have the insulation done, we can start on the inside. Below right here, I know in our last video we had talked about our water system. And that water cabinet is going underneath the window. So it's a big crunch for me to finish that window so that we could actually work underneath it and put our water cabinet.
And it's important that we want to get that done before winter sets in so that everything will be insulated. We don't have any frozen pipes and all that jazz. But little bit by little bit, we're getting there. And this was a huge push. I got this all stained on the green in one day because I didn't feel like cleaning the paint sprayer again. So I was like, I'm doing this. And there was a lot of prayer going on about the third wall where I was like, Lord, just give me the strength to make it because my arms don't have the strength right now. But we made it. And so I'm very happy about that. Took a lot of prep work, took a lot of time on these walls getting around the batten boards here that seal the seam between the two planks. Obviously this one went a little bit easier and faster because we just had these between the blanks that I already had chinked. And so I just sanded that down and then was able to shoot that real quick.
And that means the inside will be nice and quick too for painting because he already picked up the paints for the inside too.
I did. So the interior is going to be a very light gray. It's called cottage gray. Valspar, even it's an interior exterior. So it's going to help with mold and any type of anything like that, water resistance. And because we're using rough cut lumber, it's going to add an extra sealant to it. And if you
make
ever
it work
if
just
we
that
ever
much better. One thing with rough cut lumber is that it hasn't been treated. Ooh, pardon. And it hasn't had any kind of things put onto it. So giving that extra sealant by having it be a stain, so it soaks in as well as providing color. So it's an extra protection. Do want to note that I did do as my papa said. We got spray. We sprayed the walls with anti-bug stuff before putting the insulation in. So thank you, Papa.
And I do want to give a special acknowledgement to Susan Reynolds, my friend from San Antonio, who actually gave us a small donation, and that actually helped us pick up a wonderful little wood burning fireplace. We haven't put it in the house yet, but we've done a test burn on it. It's a Franklin stove. I forget the model. 288. And it's funny because it was actually manufactured in Nashville, Tennessee, which is very close to us. And actually, one of my coworkers, his grandfather used to make the molding casts for the company that made it. So his casts of molds might have been ones that was used to make this particular stove. So it's really cool. A little bit of history.
We were planning on putting it inside, and we're still in debate about that because older stoves, especially wood burning cast irons, do have some problems that cause significant issues like burning down a house kind of thing. And so we might use it in the house, we might not, we don't know.
It's gonna get used.
It's gonna get used.
I mean, worst case scenario, we're gonna put it into our shelter. That's gonna give us warmth in case of a winter emergency that we have to evacuate over to there to ride out a storm.
I was having some random dream ideas last night and wondering about it being part of the smokehouse, or when we get our gazebo up with our hot tub, using it to heat the hot tub. There's so many different uses for it where it doesn't have to be in the house, and we could find a more efficient one for in the house that would still be the right size. So things moving direction.
But worst case scenario, yeah, for this winter we do have our propane heaters, so we're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
This is actually gonna be an interior wall in the mudroom, so I haven't stained that one as of yet.
It's going to be painted the same color as our interior walls. So when we get our interior walls painted, we're going to paint that gray as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming along. I mean, going from this to this, and I'm just really impressed by our front door and how well the orange and the blue and the green really go together like that. You know, it wasn't exactly the colors we originally chose because the solid stain paints are a smaller palette color.
Yeah, you don't have as many to choose from, much of a variation. I mean, granted, there is a great selection, but not as wide as just regular paints. But at the same time, I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I think the colors really pop. I think
just so beautiful. And now that we have the bag down, you can see how big this window is up here. And it's going to get a little bit of blue trim. I'm going to paint this blue because it is metal. We couldn't do it with the stain. Stain does not like metal. It's meant for wood, not metal. So I'm going to finagle with some different ideas and be able to get that painted blue, but the pretty silver is really awesome still.
And there's still some more boards that are going to go right here to cover just, the cracks of the hinges and everything like that. That's going to be matched to the blue. So it's all going to tie together.
Yay! Our house is beautiful. I'm really, really excited about this. Like, just how gorgeous this post is next to this green, next to this blue, next to this orange, and it's becoming more of an art piece and less of a construction site.
And the really cool thing for me is that since we've stained it the colors, whenever we come home, we kind of just smile when we see it. And that's something you really want in a home, to bring you joy, to bring you comfort, and just that welcome feeling. And yes, it's our house, but at the same time, we're hoping that anybody that comes to visit has that emotional response as well, and they feel welcome, and they feel cozy and at home as well.
And definitely noticed a lot of neighbors slow down and see what they got go. Oh, I see what they got going on. We've gotten a lot of compliments, and I mean, it's awesome. Like, we're all doing different things here in the neighborhood, and have the neighbors come by and be like, that's beautiful. I'm like, nice. I like them to think beautiful too. So
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, so we're very happy with the way it's turning out. And this is our August in review video. It's Labor Day weekend. So I'm starting my vacation, which is really a work on the house-cation. But that's okay, because this brings me a lot of pleasure, and does give me a little relief from thinking about things at work. Not that I love my job, so it's not like it's tedious or anything, but it can be mentally taxing at times. So to have that nice break and just focus on some manual labor, and then know that every bit of effort that I'm putting into it is building our future and getting us further and further to where we're realizing the dream of truly being off-grid. And I say that, but yeah, we're still going to have internet and stuff. It's just, we're just not going to be tied into the electrical grid, and we're running off a well. So that's our definition of being off-grid. Other than internet, because I like to watch stuff that streams on Netflix and all that jazz.
Internet is an easy, accessible encyclopedia.
That's
at
right.
your fingertips.
Knowledge.
It's a luxury that is nice to have. There's actually quite a few luxuries that it's like, no, like we could live off-grid and still consider this. I know there's some debate going out there of what off-grid actually is. Whatever. Everybody has their own definition.
Yeah.
We're going to do the best we can for what we have, and that's off-grid for us. Yeah, we still go to the grocery store. Yes, we do. Because we can't grow everything. You just can't.
No. And, eventually, we're going to have a deep freezer, and we'll go halfsies with a neighbor or something, have something slaughtered and put some meat in the freezer kind of thing.
Neighbor actually just took one of his cows to the house to get made into ground beef, and he knows what it's eaten. So that's going to be really exciting that across the street we could get our ground beef.
Yeah, he's mostly eating my grass because he keeps escaping from the fence and coming over here to eat my lawn. But that's okay. My wild vegetation of lawn. Anyways, but I mean, we're making progress. And
yeah,
guys, we just thank you for your support. Thank you so much for checking in on us, for giving us the inspirational, attaboys that keep us going and keep us going. Wow, we're doing something really cool, something really different. Because it is very easy to get caught up in, when you're around a project day to day, to go
not seeing the progress and being like, oh, I'm still doing that window.
Yeah. So having your guys' affirmations really helps us to stay motivated and to achieve more. So we appreciate that. And feel free to share the video and tell other people what we're doing, because yeah, this is possible. We are not people that had $20,000 saved up and came out here and did this. We are literally going paycheck to paycheck, and as we can afford supplies and things, then we are buying them and doing the work. on our 2 days off a week, most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's a tangible thing. It doesn't have to be save up 20 grand and then start and then still have to come up with 50 grand to do it. But guys, thank you so much. We will check in with you here next month, and hopefully we will have a lot to show you.